Hey guys, hopefully you can see and hear me okay. I haven't done a live in a while and I came in here today and they changed everything on me. So I'm coming here from my office slash part of my gym. Most of my gym is actually in the garage, but I have a Lynn bike in here because it was too cold this winter and I was getting too lazy. So I brought it in here and I haven't taken it back out yet. So that's that. And my hairstyle is brought to you by Quarantine Chic. It's a new look. Try it out. I am actually going to share this if you give me a second, if I can figure out how to do it because everything is new and haven't done this in a while. I want to share it into our free Facebook group. If you're not already in there, highly recommend that you join. It is called Passive and Hybrid Income for Health Professionals. One of my team members hopefully will be able to put a link in the comments to that Facebook group if you're a health professional and you want to go online and create leverage a little bit your time and your income and how you get paid and all that good stuff. I highly recommend that you join that group. I have no idea how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to share it. Hang on. Give me a sec. And hybrid income. Can I do it without it share into a group? Okay. We're doing this. This is meta, y'all. I'm sharing it into here because I want to be able to have our clients and non-clients alike really join and have this conversation with you guys live. If you're here, I would love for you to comment. I'm going to have two different screens, so I might not be able to see you. Han, hi. And if you're watching this on the replay, comment as well because I will come back and be able to see you. So, all right, let me close this window and get back to it. So I wanted to do a Facebook Live today because Thursdays are my coaching day. Some of you guys know Thursday are the days that I talk to most of my clients and just such incredible health professionals, doctors, we got physicians, we have nutritionists, we have therapists, we have psychologists, we have psychiatrists, we have physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, nurses, nurse practitioners. Oh my gosh, I'm probably going to leave 6 million people out. Occupational therapists, you name it, we've got it, right? Such incredible clients. And I always get inspired, no matter how long I've been doing this, every single Thursday, I get a nugget that I'm like, the world needs to hear this. And today we were talking a lot in terms of, hey, Lisa, speaking of incredible clients, we were talking a lot about sales on today's coaching call. And sales, this is like bad word, right? The S word, sales. And for health professionals in particular, it is, hey, Angie, hey girl, nice to see you. For health professionals in particular, a lot of the times they're sort of like, I don't like sales. Like I don't do sales in my brick and mortar or as an employee or anything like that, right? So it's sort of this foreign concept of sales, So, first of all, if that resonates at all, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I might only be able to see one particular set of comments while I'm live, and then the other one I can see when I get off the live because I can't look at multiple screens at once. That'd be crazy. But definitely comment. Let me know if I don't already know you. If you're not one of my incredible clients, I do see some of my incredible clients here. Let me know where you're tuning in from and what type of health professional you are. And of course, I'd love to see you in the Facebook group as well, in the free Facebook group. Monique, I'm so glad you enjoyed the session today. So as I was saying, I was having, these conversations with our clients today in our groups, and I thought that everyone could benefit from this. And so this concept of sales and why is this so crazy? Now, obviously, let's just state the obvious for a second. If you are a health professional, if you're a physician, if you're a nutritionist, if you're a dietitian, if you're a psychologist, if you're a physical therapist, if you're a, whatever, and you are working right now as an employee or as a brick and mortar, you have your own business and you're doing this in a very traditional sense, for example, exchanging time for dollars. If you're maybe a therapist and you charge for 50 minutes of your time or 60 minutes of your time, that is how you're making money, right? You're definitely right. I'm not a salesperson, says Lisa. I'm glad that resonates. And I'm a medical technologist from Washington. Well, welcome, Han. Nice to meet you. So, if that's the case, to some degree, you haven't really been dealing with sales, right? You've been in your zone of genius. If you haven't already read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, highly recommend. He talks about the zone of genius. And you've been dealing with, for example, some of the professionals I see in here today, in terms of OBGYN, in terms of ER doc, in terms of, another OBGYN. Hey, what's going on today? Okay. You've been dealing in this kind of in your zone of genius. You've been treating the patient. You've been seeing the patient, you've been doing consultations, you've been, taking your dozen years of knowledge, in terms of in school and $300,000, $500,000 worth of your education, and you have been delivering the work. You've kind of been on this side of the paywall, so to speak, right? So prior to them coming into your office and sitting across the table from you, or on the gurney where you're Monique, there has been a payment or will be a payment that is involved. There has been a transaction, whether it is to, an insurance company, directly from the client, directly to you, directly to your employer, and you're just receiving a salary or whatever, right? Obviously, there is a transaction, there is a financial exchange of money that occurs. I'm not saying anything revolutionary, right? This is common sense. Let me take a sip because I've been yapping for the last 3.5 hours. Ooh. So now, but you haven't really been involved in that process. You haven't really had to sell yourself. You haven't really had to, definitely not as an ER doc, right? You're not coming in and they're coming in on the gurney and you're saying, okay, as they're coding, you'll be like, and this is going to be $383.24. Cool. Would you like Amex or Visa? Right? You haven't been doing that. And even as let's just take another classic, example of, one-on-one situation where it's like the appointment costs this. Perhaps you're a receptionist, or if you work for a company, they have been saying, okay, the initial consultation is, I don't know, I'm gonna make up numbers here, $250. And after that, hey, Jill, so good to see you. After that, it'll be, the follow-up appointments will be $100. Okay, whatever, I'm making up numbers, right? But you haven't really been involved in that. And here's the other piece. And if you're taking notes, I love me some notes. And I would love to hear what resonated most from this Facebook Live in the comments after we're done, but you haven't really been involved in that transaction for the most part, even, at all, if you're on salary, right? You have no part in that where you can just sort of play dumb even, and all you have to do is treat the client and you're just like, I don't know how payment happens, right? And so you have that luxury, I might even say privilege of not having to deal with that. You had the quote unquote easy part of the gig in terms of, listen, I know half the people are on this Facebook Live and you guys are all fantastic health professionals and you love what you do. So you've had what's easy for you. It would be incredibly difficult for the rest of us, but easy for you because you do it all day, every day. You can do it blindfolded while doing a handstand, treating the patient. You got it, right? You got it. Now that said, that financial transaction with the insurance company, with the client, with the hospital, with the whatever has to happen, right? Otherwise, you guys would be all doing this for free, which I know is not the case. That's not a sustainable model either, right? But here's the other piece. Even if you've been, let's say, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or someone that has been selling their hour and has put a price that you've been an entrepreneur, you've had kind of a brick and mortar business where you see the client for 50, 60 minutes and exchange, this much money or whatever else. Perhaps you're cash only even. So now you're a little bit further along on this quote unquote, I'm going to say the S word again. I'm going to say the S word. Y'all ready? You've been further along on this sales process in that you have said, maybe when they inquired either via email or via phone, you said, yeah, my first appointment is $250 and follow-up is $100. I don't know, making up numbers. So now you're like, whoop, little bit of a toe has been dipped into the sales world. Whoop. And cool. The reason that's also been easy, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The reason that's been easy is because, for most of you, maybe it was hard, on your first day, fresh out of school where you're like, oh my God. But now it's like, it's a Tuesday. That's what you do all day, every day. You've been doing that for a million years. Maybe your rates have gone up by 10, 20 bucks here and there. But other than that, it's been easy. Really not much sales, there's that S word again, that's been happening. But also the other really, really important thing, hey, Gary Potter, it's been 6 million years. Hey, Kay, holy cow, everyone's here. All right, so, the reason it's been sort of easy in terms of all that is because you're also, you're coming on the back end of your market, your world, the planet. They've been conditioned to, this is what we do. Obviously, if you call up a therapist, there's going to be an hourly fee. That's not surprising to anyone, I hope, right? Like there is going to be a fee. That if you go to the doctor, if you go to the emergency room, if you go to the hospital, if you go see a physical therapist, if you go see a whatever, even if you have insurance and even if you're traditionally going through insurance and only paying your copays, there's a copay. The insurance is paying, whatever, right? So there is no education that needs to happen in that realm, right? For the most part, we've done this for a million years and we're still doing it. Cool. So you've gotten away with not having to do the selling part. There's that S word again. So here's the thing, and this is the whole point of the Facebook Live, which I got to reread the title to remember what I called it, which is you'll never succeed online as a health professional until you overcome this key shift. And y'all, I know that saying never say never. I almost never say never, but I'm going to say never on this one. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I'm going to say never on this one because I have been doing this for too long. I have seen too many health professionals succeed and fail to say anything other than never. You will never succeed online as a health professional. You will never succeed as an entrepreneur if you don't overcome the key shift that sales are required in every single type of business of some sort of another, like including the one that you're currently in, including the model that you're currently in, including the traditional model that you're currently in. I had a client, a potential client, didn't end up becoming a client. Actually, I could even really tell you the tale of two clients, because this was kind of the same thing, but one person made a shift on this and one person didn't. And here's the thing, right? So in case you don't know, time out, let me back you up, because some of you who are non-clients might have no idea. But if we haven't met before, my name is Sylvie McCracken, and I help health professionals go online, really, right? And create passive income or hybrid income. It's kind of two of the things that we do. But basically, the short of it is uncouple their time for dollars and go online and sell their expertise, sell an outcome, create an incredible transformation in their clients, and stop living Groundhog Day, where 80% of the time, you're saying the same thing over and over again, and 20% is customization. It's more efficient for the client because they're actually able to get a result in a short amount of time. It's more efficient for you guys because you've been a health professional for so long, and you're doing this all day, every day, 8 hours a day, doing the same darn thing. It's just not efficient. And of course you get, paid better for less amount of time. You can actually make a much bigger impact, which is what a lot of you guys are here for on the planet, than you can ever in your career see people one-on-one, right? Cool. So what that looks like, just to really do the 10-second version of what we do, is our clients create these online group coaching programs sometimes, or courses. They create ebooks and whatever. If they're doing something like a course, what they're doing is they're packaging their expertise and their experience over, a certain amount of time, let's say 8 weeks, something like that, and selling it from $2,000 or something like that. A lot of our clients do like a $2,000 course online, right? Now, every once in a while, we'll get someone that says, $2,000, I can't imagine ever charging $2,000, or my market will never pay $2,000. For example, let's just say if you're a therapist that helps middle-aged men with anxiety. I'm just making up an outcome. Okay, you're a therapist, you help middle-aged men with anxiety. That's the outcome, that's what you provide. And you have tools that you do this with, right? And you've been doing this one-on-one for a million years, over and over and over again, and mostly seeing this demographic. Maybe you see a few women as well and whatever, but your expertise has been middle-aged men. Cool. Well, the reality is, first of all, with this whole no one will pay $2,000, it just baffles me, because the reality is they have been paying $2,000. They've been paying you $200 an hour for way more than 10 sessions, one a week for eternity, right? Or let's just say maybe you're a therapist that's charging $100 an hour. Okay, great. But are you kidding me? I would want, this is a challenge I'm going to give you guys, right? A challenge I'm going to give you guys. For those of you that are clients, you already know how we roll. You're already deep into this. For those of you that are non-clients, I want you to kind of tally up what actually have your clients been paying. For those of you that are employees and your clients are going through insurance, this might take you a little more digging, a little more research, but I want you to find out what people are actually paying. I want you to figure this out. What are people actually paying for this outcome? Now, not per hour, none of that per hour thing. I want you to figure out, how long does it usually take one-on-one when you're, again, you don't have any curriculum, you don't have any structure, you're just showing up. Again, I just kind of picked therapist as an example. Of course, we can go nutritionist, we can go, physician, but I just picked therapist for today. But as they're showing up every Thursday, 10 a.m., they have a session with you. And, you start with, okay, well, what, they tell you what happened and whatever, and you've got 50 minutes and you've got, again, how many Thursdays have they come and seen you? I don't care if you're on a sliding scale or if you're charging top of the line and cash only, do the math. How long did they come to you? How much did Susie Q pay you over what period of time for that outcome? Because what baffles me is when people don't realize that your client actually already, there's not even a leap here. What do you mean they're not going to pay $2,000? They have been paying you $2,000. So that's one of my favorite sort of ahas that people have, is like, oh, you're right. Now here's the difference. You have not been packaging things at $2,000. You have not had a $2,000 thing, a $2,000 product like this course. Okay, fair enough. We agree. But let's call it what it is. Like, where's the challenge here? The challenge is that you have no sales experience. There's that S word again. The challenge is that you don't know how to sell, and that you have, maybe, possibly, would love to hear if this resonates with you. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, hey, Charles, thanks for saying hello. Nice to meet you. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, I want to hear it in the comments. Does this resonate with you? Do you feel a little icky about sales? Do you feel a little some kind of way about packaging you? right? About saying, you know what, I am Jillian Short and I help middle-aged men with anxiety and my thing costs $2,000. If that brings up some kind of way, great. Let's start with that. Let's have that conversation, which by the way is totally normal. By the way, it's totally normal. Like that's a Tuesday. I would argue, if all of you aren't a yes, it's probably a yes, I did 5 years from now and you've already overcome it. Awesome. But everyone sort of, when they're just started, they sort of feel that kind of way. And maybe you can tap into when you were a baby entrepreneur, when you were just out of school and you were just starting. How did you feel then? Those butterflies and whatever else. Cool. If you can remember that. But here's the thing. People are already paying, and again, our clients, some of our clients charge $4,000. So it just depends, but I'm just picking that sort of example of that $2,000 number. They have been paying $100 or $200 for a certain amount of time. They've been paying way more than $2,000. Wouldn't it be more efficient? Wouldn't it be in the client's best interest and in your best interest too, to stop the burnout and stop doing this like Groundhog Day all day, every day, and actually have a structured process that they can go through where, yes, they're still going to get that time with you. They're still going to get, the ability to run things by you, the ability to get coached by you and get, that kind of those tweaks. Absolutely. But wouldn't it be more efficient for you to take them through a process? Wouldn't it be more efficient for you to teach them what it is that they need to know? Not, a fire hose of what you've learned over 20 years, but what do they need to know so that they can do some of this work? Wouldn't it be more efficient to reduce? I mean, we're never going to get rid of the ER. Are you kidding? I don't want to get rid of the ER. The ER is great. But wouldn't it be more efficient to be able to help people so that we can prevent so many ending up in the ER? I love having this conversation with trolls on the internet because every once in a while I get that like, how dare you say that we should never do one-on-one? I'm not saying we should never do one-on-one. I'm saying that for most things it's inefficient. I'm saying, can we get the world a little healthier? I'm saying, do we have to, if 5 people have diabetes, do they all need to have a one-on-one to tell them how they should eat? Or can we make that process more efficient and then save the one-on-one for the customizations? Maybe someone has type 1 and maybe someone has type 2. Those are 2 different ball games. Cool. But can we at least make the foundation a little more efficient? So I would love, love, love to hear from you in the comments on that. But here's, again, I'm going to repeat. And for those of you that joined late, definitely recommend you watch the replay. Would love, love, love to hear from you in the comments. If we haven't already met, please introduce yourself. I'd love, love, love to hear from you. But again, this is one of those things where it's like, if you can't overcome the fact that sales are a requirement in entrepreneurship, you'll never make money. You'll never succeed. Literally, the financials of a business are its scorecard. A business is either making money or it's not. If it's not, I'm going to argue it's not a business. It is a hobby. So if you can't, and again, learning how to sell, that's easy. That's a Tuesday. We take people all day, every day, whether it's for our ebooks with creating sales pages with templates, things that we've studied and split tested that my team has gone, has worked so hard to create. Or if it is something like, selling a course, which is at a higher price point, right? So it's a different process when you're selling a $25 thing versus a $2,000 thing, 2 different things, but that's easy. That's easy. As far as the logistics of that, we can take people that have never sold and absolutely turn them into that. But again, until that mindset shift is made, until that breakthrough is made on what does sales really mean? What is sales? Until that breakthrough is made, it doesn't matter what. You could have the most perfect system. It's not going to work. I'm sorry, but it's not going to work. So this is a conversation that I hope, again, we're battling 100 years of conditioning. So I totally get as to, man, I have so much hair. This is like a bufanda. How do you say it in English? A scarf. Anyway, so, we're battling 100 years of conditioning. So I'm hoping that this mindset shift will be a lot easier for health professionals going forward. I hope 20 years from now, this is a conversation we don't even have to have, right? This is a duh, such as what I said on of course, if you go see a shrink, you're going to pay something for their hour. Duh. No one is surprised by that. I hope that this that I'm saying today in 2020 and 2040 is that much of a duh. In the meantime, we have to keep having this conversation of do you work for free? Does anyone work for free? Of course things cost money. Of course there has to be a sale that is made. Of course your expertise is valuable. I mean, heck, you spent $100, $200, $300, $400, $500,000 on school. Some of our clients, I've only heard the $500,000 number twice. I hear the $200,000 number all day, every day. I feel like that's a Tuesday. And of course, some people, some professions, can get away with maybe $50,000 spent on school or whatever it may be. But the reality is you spent a good amount of time and money acquiring this expertise. You've spent boots on the ground time with patients getting even better at it. I've got people that have been in their field for 27 years. The amount of experience a person like that has is insanity. It is worth a ton, right? Being able to have one question, one tweak of like, nope, you know what, you need to try this, is life-changing for people. Why on earth would that not be worth $2,000? There is literally, I mean, this is such a firm belief of mine. And actually, I'm even going to go a little rogue because that's how I do. Y'all know. If you're a client or if you've been on my lives for a while, you know that, I have one setting. I only came with the one setting pre-installed. It is called the truth button. There's usually not too much of a filter, and I will just call it like I see it. But the reality is, this is absolutely absolutely undeniable that there is value in what you have. Now, you're going to have to overcome this idea that sales is terrible, that people can't afford it, that people are not invested in their health. That is you making decisions for them. And here's the bottom line. I believe it was Henry Ford that said it, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. The reality is if you're focusing on that, it won't work, it can't happen, you're right. That's what you're going to find. If you don't have that solid confidence, that solid belief, it's not going to work. So you need to overcome that piece, right? That whole sales is whatever. If you're open to it, even though you're not a client, perhaps if you're watching this live, little journaling exercise for you. One of my advanced clients, I had her do this recently. She's been with me for a long, long time. And this was still, even so far into her journey, was still really, really helpful. She brought up some stuff from childhood. So highly recommend that you kind of just go ham on a journal. I have a notebook constantly around me. Go ham on it in terms of all the terrible things that sales, all the connotations that it has for you. Sales is bad because what? And again, where are you bringing that from? Is it from the MLM world? Some of you know how much I hate that model. Absolutely cannot stand the multi-level marketing model. But that's just me. Is it from that? Is it a used car salesman thing? Like, is it, infomercials? What made you have this terrible connotation, this terrible association to the word sales? And I mean, of course, is that how you're going to sell your thing? Absolutely not, right? If you have something that is life-changing, if you have expertise that could help others, that could help them manage their diabetes, that could help them get rid of their obesity, that could help them, take care of their blood pressure, take care of themselves, that could help them feed their children without having to go through a drive-through, don't you have the responsibility to teach this to others? And why on earth? Give me one good reason. I know you won't be able to find one. Give me one good reason on why that should be for free. If you're going to do that for free, I was having this conversation very lovingly with a client this morning who has a full-time day job and is building her business on the back end of this. Of course, and we were just, these are the honest conversations that we have, because the reality is if you're carrying that belief, we have to work on that before you're going to be successful. You can have the best template, whatever in the world, it won't work until we deal with this belief, until we deal with this breakthrough of sales is helping, sales is serving, right? Serving the client. So, if you don't overcome that, it's just not going to work. But we were having this conversation on, if you had to do this for free, let's just play ridiculous for a second. I love playing ridiculous. I love exaggerating. Let's just play ridiculous for a second. If you were doing this for free, how long could you do it? I mean, you can give it an hour or so on the weekend, right? Do it for free, but you need to make a living. If this is your living, if you can actually hit all three nails on the head, have the income that you deserve and want, have the freedom and schedule and flexibility where you can come on a Facebook Live with your hair looking crazy on a Thursday because you freaking feel like it, and you can make the impact on as many people as you feel like it, as you want to. If you can do that, you can do it full time, or part time, or 20 hours a week, whatever it is you want. But you can devote your energy, your hard drive, your bandwidth to this mission. You can actually do this. This can be your thing. This doesn't have to be your side hustle or whatever. Going to a job that you hate, a soul-sucking job all day, every day, and then spending a couple hours on something that changes people's lives? Why on earth would you do that? So this is a call to arms, y'all, because I don't know, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now. I hope you guys are staying healthy. I hope you're also staying sane, for those of you that have kiddos at home. I got some of my clients who've got 3 kids under the age of 5, and every time I'm on the call with them, there's one on their head, the other one clinging from the shoulder, and the other one destroying the living room. So hope you guys are all staying healthy and sane. But honestly, you guys, the world needs healing. Like, I have never seen health professionals be more MVP than right now. Both on the front lines, I've got a client that actually flew to New York so that she could help on the front lines of this incredible human being. But also in the prevention, also in the, like, can we have people's immune systems be better on a Tuesday, not in the middle of a pandemic? Can we start taking health more seriously? Can we canvass the planet and actually start making a difference? Because you know what I'm tired of is hearing that people are going through their day and going through their job and all they're doing is filling out, EMRs, filling out complicated charts and, that change over the years from based on, paper and pen to, complicated computerized things for 3 hours a night instead of actually helping human beings. Can we shift to that? Guess whose job that is? It's every single one of us. It's ours as an individual, right? If we want to change it, let's start with us. So that is a long-winded way of saying, I really, really, really want you to think about this in terms of the sales that you've already been doing, the sales that people have already been, people have already been making purchases. Also, say the word sales 10 times. If there's an icky feeling around that, I mean, choose whatever word you want. You can call it Muppet if you prefer. But honestly, like, go into that deep in terms of, are you sure people won't pay $2,000? Because the reality is they're already doing it. Are you sure people don't care about their health that much? Really? They're willing to pay $2,000 for toys and they're not gonna do it to reverse their diabetes symptoms? Girlfriend, what? Like, no, we need to have this conversation. And I want you to unpack that. And I also want you to unpack your privilege. I love talking about privilege. I love reading about privilege. And one of the things that with our health professionals, I want you to unpack your privilege of you haven't had to deal with that, but it's been happening for you. Somebody in some place, in some way on this funnel has been doing the sales for you. Whether it's an insurance company, your employer, yourself, your assistant, just, your website that says it's $200 an hour or whatever. Sales have been happening. Sales are happening, right? This is a lifeblood of a business. If you're not making sales, it is a hobby, period. The end. Facts. This is not up for discussion. So the question is, are you brave enough? Are you brave enough? Are you willing to step aside from your discomfort for 2 freaking seconds? I mean, charge $1,000 if you feel like it. If you have to start there, charge whatever you want. But are you willing to be brave enough to sell your thing? Are you willing to be brave enough to say, you know what, I have a thing and it can change your life? And of course, it's going to have a price to it. Of course. Hello, do you work for free? No. Are you willing to do that? I'd love to hear 6 million hell yeses in the comments, right? But heck, I usually like to say it's either a hell yes or it's a no. There's no such thing as a hell maybe. But maybe I'll take some hell maybes today. Maybe we're going to go rogue today and take some hell maybes. Because at this point, I don't even need you to be sure in it. I don't even need the mindset shift to have already occurred and be like, yep, I'm 100% on board. Boom, I'm going to go sell tomorrow, make $500,000 by next Tuesday. I don't even need it to be that deal. I just want to know, are you willing to, like, dip your toe in? Are you willing to dip your toe in and possibly consider that your thing might be valuable, that you might have an expertise, that it could be packaged, that it could help more people, and that maybe you can make some money from it? Oh my God. Cool. So y'all, I adore you guys. I love that you've joined me for this. If you haven't already commented, oh, look at this. I'm seeing comments right now. Patrick, hey, nice to see you. Imposter syndrome kicks in. Clark, yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I feel it is the one-on-one with me that I sell and successfully, but burnout. Yep. Believing I have something to package other than myself in relationships, I get stuck. It's so common, Clark, for everything. And if you hopped on late, then make sure you watch the replay because I want you to hear what I said in the beginning. But it's super, super, super common. Lisa, I definitely needed this pep talk. I love it, girl. I'm so glad to have you as a client, you and Doug. The reality is it's so common. Like, the reason I'm saying this is because it doesn't affect just one of you. It affects 9 out of 10 of you. Like, I hear this a lot, right? And usually when I pick my topics for a Facebook Live, it's what's coming up for a lot of people, including my clients. And by the way, we don't fix this usually in a checklist, right? Like, I always like to say, dating myself, if I could insert a floppy disk, and I could be like, oh, let's just change this belief. I'm going to insert a floppy disk before you start. We're going to have no problems with that. And now we can just work on the strategy. No mindset needed. We got that. It's all good. Now we're just going to go do it. Well, shoot. First of all, if the robots ever figure that one out for us, everyone will be successful overnight. We'll have no problems. We'll have no stumbling blocks. It'll be fantastic. That's not the reality, at least not in 2020. Hey, Craig, miss you, dude. That's not the reality. So obviously we have some work to do here in terms of overcoming beliefs. And this is usually something that comes in layers. It's usually a 2-step forward, 1 back, 2 forward, 6 back, 6 forward, 1 back, whatever it may be. It looks a little bit like that. It trends upward like the stock market, but there's some peaks and valleys along the way. Cool. That's just the reality. All right, rock stars, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I hope this was helpful. I would love, love, love to hear from you in the comments. If this was helpful, let me know what is the most helpful thing. If you are a health professional and we're not already working together and you'd like to see if we can help you take your expertise online, whether or not you have experience in sales or you're overcoming this, if you're willing to explore that, and if you watched earlier, I gave you a little bit of homework to do that, then book a call. I'm going to put the link to my calendar below. It is sylviamccracken.com/apply. And if we can help you, I'll absolutely let you know. And if not, we'll just point you in a different direction instead. No worries, right? But if you are ready to take your expertise online, help the people that need you most, and do this without working yourself to the bone, then book a call and we'll see if we can help. sylviamccracken.com/apply. I hope you have a great, fantastic rest of your Thursday, and I will see you guys really, really soon. Bye for now.